Eurovision. It's good to have you on board.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I'm very well, thank you. I mean, coming to Eurovision in 2014 was definitely a dream come true. And thanks to this amazing man here, I was given that opportunity.
Everyone.
Everybody, this is Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah. This man has an incredible heart and soul, and thanks to him for, I guess, giving Australia the opportunity to be part of the rest of the world, to be a part of this incredible event that gives so much back. So me being a part of 2014 was definitely that, and I thank you very, very much. And it was just exciting to be on the other side of the world, to have written this song specifically for this show. So Sea of Flags was a projection that came from the show that I had been watching as a young little girl, and I just felt that that was such a perfect song for many communities around Europe that represented them, basically.
May I ask you a small favor, just a small favor?
Of course.
Please.
Of course.
You
want me to sing that song?
That's so beautiful, come on.
A sea of flags, so beautiful, will lift me up into the sky and guide me home. The southern stars over golden sands, our crazy hearts have come as one in a sea of flags.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you. We thank you. So now, 4 years.
Yes.
And 2 days. I did the math. I don't know if I failed. 4 years and 2 days later,
Yes.
on May 10th, you will be on Eurovision stage. But this time, not just representing Australia, competing for Australia.
Competing.
Tell us about the difference now. More nervous, less nervous, more responsibility.
More responsibility and more pressure. And obviously, having seen the last 3 entries, watching my friends up on stage
You're
was
doing pretty well, Australia.
but yeah, it's a completely different feeling. I think having come on board as a guest that year to now actually being a competitor and I guess maintaining and being controlled, especially in an environment like this, is a lot of pressure. I mean, you're constantly mentally and physically going through a process of being 100%. So always constantly trying to be yourself, but also putting on a show and a performance. So there is a major difference where in 2014, I just had the opportunity to just soar and feel free and send a message of what I was feeling at the time about the event. Yeah.
You are a Eurovision fan since ever.
Yes, I was
Someone
11
told me
years
that.
old. I was 11 years old when I
What's your first Eurovision memory?
I think it was the commercial that got me. The ad.
Commercial?
It was the ad. It was the ad that got me. And at the time, because of the complete time difference, my father was watching the soccer at the time. And I was very young, but I remembered the ad had come on saying that the show was going to be previewed and that we were going to be able to watch the show. And I remember pleading to my father, asking him, could I stay up and watch the show? And he said, don't say it too loud, because if your mother finds out, I'm in big trouble. Because it's a school night as well, so that was pretty much a very secretive thing between me and my father.
And okay, if you are a Eurovision fan, you have a Eurovision favorite song?
I have to say, my favorite, for me, having experienced it for the very first time in 2014, was watching Emily de Forest sing Only Teardrops. I don't know, I'm a big lover and a fan of drums in a song, and I love that effect. It's almost like a heartbeat, you know. So it's that song particularly for me won my heart, I guess.
She had one song, she was singing at home all the energy.
And I think because having watched her perform, I became a fan. So even more importantly, that I was there in front, in the stage, watching her, and I had become a fan because I just loved her performance and I loved the song, but it felt so real and raw.
It's everything, the music, the song, the lyrics, the performance.
It's everything. It was everything.
I would like just to ask you one question, because in Eurovision, for a few shows, even before you were invited,
yes,
there was always something about Australian show. So we think that this is really big in Australia. Since you started competing, did it become even bigger? How has been the reaction, you know, in Australia?
Look, if I can start to answer
that. Yes,
but
of course.
I think it was so crucial for us to be able to present Jess in 2014. And I think her performance in 2014 had an awful lot to do with Australia being invited to Vienna. I remember them saying to us, look, it's our 60th birthday and we can invite whoever we want. And we choose to invite you. And there was the Austria and Australia thing, it was sort of cute. So I think Jess really opened the door for us. And what Australians are passionate people, they love music, they love to compete. And so we've had a lot to learn about Eurovision, but I'm really proud of the people that we've put forward, and I think a number of the hearts have been touched by the Australian artists today. And so from our perspective, Jess is the natural person to compete for us, because when Sea of Flags was something that really touched our hearts, but this new song is just so special like that. It's got a great swagger, but it's also...
You want to sing it for us?
Look, we're not making a horror movie.
He's got some dance moves up his sleeve, but we might leave that for later.
I've had to sort of try and do some of the moves, so what about that one? I really like that one.
I have lots of questions to ask you, but my time is up, so it's your time. Yes, it's you. Poland, isn't it?
Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
Sebastian from Destination Eurovision Poland.
Hi, Sebastian.
It's so nice to meet you finally.
Thank you so much.
First of all, I want to thank you, because I'm trying to be on touch with all materials from pre-Eurovision concert.
Yes.
And your happiness, smile, friendliness is I think that's truly reason that because of artists like you, we all feel like home every year. So thank you so much that you are like that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Wow, thank you, Sebastian.
And coming to my question, I read an interview with you, and I'm so impressed how much Polish artists you know, and how is your knowledge of Polish music industry. So my question is, are you willing or are you open to future cooperation with Polish artists, making some duos, maybe bands like Equinox in the Polish ranking here?
Yeah, thank you, Sebastian, for that question. For me, as a performer, as an artist, someone who loves music and is friends with music, my future with music is pretty much that. I would love in the future to be able to collaborate, and if there is an opportunity with a Polish an artist, I would be happy to. But that's definitely something that I enjoy doing, is collaborating.
Yeah, good to know that. Over here. Yes.
Hey Jess.
Hello.
Sebastian number 2 from ESCKAZ.com.
Hello.
Fellow Australian as well. Made a 30-hour flight just to see you.
Yes.
I remember you as a 16-year-old girl out in the outback auditioning for a competition, Australian Idol.
Yes.
What advice would the 16-year-old Jess give to the Jess of today in a 16-year-old's voice?
Wow.
Yes,
it is. I would tell my 16-year-old self now. Well, now.
Yeah. The 16-year-old. What would she tell the Jess of today, being in that competition?
Don't ever change. Don't ever change. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have Australia here. I think
Hello, Jess.
Hey, how you going?
My name is Blair Martin from Radio 4 ZZZ in Brisbane.
Woo, go Brizzy.
We play you a lot. I play you a lot.
Thank you.
Been playing you since forever. But my question is based on visibility and diversity. We have sent 4 diverse people, 2 from Asian immigrant background families, and now 2 First Nations people.
Yes.
Which makes me incredibly proud to see that.
Yes.
But what is it for you to know that it's not just a matter of talking about diversity and visibility? What does it mean to you to be up there as a First Nations person, showing the world that we don't all look like me.
Yeah.
We don't all look like Paul, which is probably a good thing.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! I think there's a lot. I think me just being here and doing what I do says a lot. I'm extremely proud of who I am and my heritage and my culture. And like I said, I think me being here and representing that is everything. I spoke to my parents the other day, and really down to it was purely just being who I am and being what I've, I'll share what I've been taught, and the way I walk, the way I talk, should never change. But that has always played on my mind and my heart, and as an image of my country, it means everything. It means a great deal, and especially to the mob back at home for sure. Yeah, and it feels really deadly. It feels incredibly deadly, is what they would say back at home. Yeah, from my community, and and for the elders. This is pretty much my dreaming and my dreaming line that is coming through into this performance, and the story is pretty much lifting and is being imprinted here and now, and I can't wait to share that pathway. So I feel I'm doing it now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's 2 of them. One question.
Hi Jessica.
Hello.
I'm from Greece, in the Greece side. I must say here that I was born in Australia.
Wow.
I lived my childhood there, so my half heart is yours this year. The other half is for Greece. What I wanted to ask you is, Australia so far has so good results in the Eurovision Song Contest. Does this bring a lot of pressure on you, or responsibility, even more responsibility, to continue these first good results in the contest? What do you feel about that?
Of course it does, and I do that with such a big, heavy breath, because having seen the last 3 contestants come on board and share their knowledge and their experience and their talent, I feel a great deal of holding that and trying my best as much as possible to do what I can vocally and mentally and physically, all at the same time. So, all I can do is, with the team, is be really positive and work with the team on ground here, which we just experienced our first rehearsal, and already it was just mind-blowing. Like I felt like there was electricity going through my body, and it was like a light that just kept shining, being on that stage. But having worked with the team and the Australian delegation to, you know, to come here and create something on ground in Australia, bringing it here to, who knows what was going to happen, but we didn't have expectations. We pretty much came in with our ideas and our story, and was willing to work with the team on ground, who have done such a brilliant job. I mean, I had pretty much heart palpitations going in, just almost slightly blinded, because, you know, you just never know. But at the same time, everyone has been so amazing to us, and the connections, and just the first connection that we had was purely so open. So we are really thankful and feel really blessed to be working with an incredible team here in Portugal and Lisbon, and they've done such a, you know, to build this empire of event is beyond. So
You're so happy, it's contagious.
I know, I can't, there's so many words.
We have time for 2 more questions. I promised one, then I will do like that. Okay, sorry, don't.
Hey Jessica, it's JP from Radio International.
Hi, JP.
Welcome back to Eurovision in a way. So my question is regarding Barack Obama. You performed in front of him. How did this come up?
Oh wow.
And
yes.
if you could tell us a bit about your television program that you have been in, the series.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely. Performing for Obama, the president then of the United States of America, was, I guess, came as a wild opportunity. He was visiting my hometown for the army base that he was presenting in my hometown, and so there were a few other incredible talents that had the opportunity to perform in front of him, and I was just one of them. So I sung quite a few of my songs to not only Obama, but I got to sing to all the troops that obviously are doing a great job. So yeah, it was purely just to give some music and to share a celebration on behalf of themselves. And the television TV series that I was working on, that I got to produce, is a show called The Secret Daughter. And yeah, it was purely kind of based on parts of my characters in my mind that I got to write down and create with an incredible team, Screen Australia in Australia. And yeah, it was just fun to do something to collaborate music as well as this amazing Australian or Indigenous Australian character who is a small town girl who meets the big city, and it's that collaboration where she sees her journey through music, and that's her way of communicating and understanding the world.
Next, final question. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
4. Oh, 4. Did I say
another number?
Okay. 6.
Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Near was in the 4th row, on the 1st row. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's him. It's him. Not 6, but it's the closest to 6.
Hi Jess.
Hello.
It's Michael here from Joy 94.1 in Melbourne. How are you? It's good to see you. Even better with the sparkly jacket, looking superb. In the song, it's fantastic. We've loved it in Australia. It's been playing all over the shop. But in the song, it talks about being powerless to change things.
Yes.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be? And what would you use it, or what would you change using it?
Wow, that's a really good question. If I had a superpower, and that superpower was able to change something, what would that be? That's a really good one. I haven't thought of that. Oh, there's so many superpowers I want.
One.
Oh man, what superpower?
Pressure.
You know what? It would be shooting energy.
You already do that.
Shooting energy? Do I already have that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Are you sure? But okay. Oh, really? Okay. Damn. Okay. It would be. I don't know.
Ability to answer difficult questions.
Right? No, it's got to be something else, like automatic boom.
Automatic.
That's it. Stop there.
Okay, we got an automatic boom. Jessica, really nice.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
So
guys.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Now, okay, you are always here. I think you deserve a question. Don't scream at me, but some of you are always here, and sometimes one more question. Is that okay?
Of course, absolutely. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you.
Don't kill me, please. Yeah, Charlie, and you're ready.
Hi Jess, Alistair Birch from Europhile Australia. Congratulations on a great rehearsal, but my question, Olivia Newton-John was one of the first Australians to sing for Eurovision back in 1974.
Representing the UK.
Correct.
Yes.
You met Anna Olivia during your setup for Eurovision, but a very different Olivia. Can you talk about it and tell us about some of your favourite animals from the top end of Australia?
Of course. My experience of meeting her was such a wild ride, and obviously hearing her side and her view of her experience and being a part of Eurovision was such an, I guess, an eye-opener for me, and hearing that for the first time, I guess, kind of helped me to improve on my ability, I guess, to whatever that was, whether it was through music, better songwriting, vocal ability, but just really kind of connected me on my performance and how I was going to perform. So that really gave me a big insight of how that may feel, or what to project, or what to expect. But she was really giving, and I really thank her for just sitting down and having a yarn. Like, we practically, you know, it was like me and Paul just sitting here and just chatting away. But for her to give that time to me was, yeah, it was beyond. I had so much fun. My favourite animals, Australian animals. Well, I'm originally from the top end of Australia, so it's a place called Darwin, and I pretty much grew up swimming in salt water with saltwater crocs. So I don't know if you've ever seen a saltwater croc, but it's basically this dinosaur lizard that has many sharp teeth, has big eyes, and could be about, let's say, can be that big, that length. That's my very first, the saltwater croc. I love the koala bears. I love kangaroos. I love snakes. I know that's really weird. If it was a poisonous one, I wouldn't go there.
Okay.
I would pretty much stay away.
Yeah.
I also love wombats. They're these big, furry things. Big nose.
Yeah, I can see. Jessica, we have to finish.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you so much.
Jessica,
Thank you so much.
so nice to have you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Oh my God, I hate this.